The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. Holy shit, we've managed to make it to 200. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and with me this week is Erin Mills.
Hey, hello.
And we also have Michelle with us.
Hello.
And we wanted to have Kat here for this one since it's the big 200, but she's having to deal with some issues that she really needs to take care of. I'm not going to go into detail unless she wants to when she comes back, but hopefully everything will work out pretty well, even better than where it is now. Awkwardly said, yeah. So we meant to have this done last week. The problem was, with getting over to a new computer, you have to reset everything, and with the way we have, like, all of our technology just going up into the cloud or whatever, I say technology, data going up into the cloud, like for example, I use Chrome as my main internet browser, so all my passwords are saved there, and so I didn't have to worry about logging back, getting the passwords logged back into Twitter, Facebook, wherever, so that was no problem. And then I set up Streamlabs OBS, because that's what I use to record all of these shows. And I forgot to set it up to where it not only records me, but also records my wonderful co-hosts. So we did an entire recording with only my end of the conversation, which could have been salvaged if Kat didn't also have audio issues too. So between the two of us, it's like 2/3 of the show is like no.
I think mine worked. I used Audacity. I hit the record button. It said recording. The lines kept going up and down. So
yeah, yours was working, but it was like between all of that, it was like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen, Chief. especially. I mean, I only had mine. Michelle, you would have only had yours on your end.
Yeah.
And Kat had nothing, so it's like, yeah, that would not have worked, sadly. Just, oh, goddamn. So, with that being episode 200, we're going to take it relatively light. I do want to acknowledge a few things that have happened that I feel should be acknowledged, at least with a fuck you or fuck yeah or whatever. Fuck you to Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, any place that's being overrun and having these forced birth shit pushed through. That's I think that's what everybody's calling it now, forced birth instead of pro-life. Fuck all you people for that. I'm just gonna keep it short. Just keep that one short. Fuck yeah for all the awesome movies that have been coming out. Yeah. Like I've seen both Endgame and Detective Pikachu. Love them both. So and we can get into those in a little bit because those are fun. And also I just like an hour or so before I started recording, somebody was some man baby on social media was whining about I guess it was a deleted scene from Captain Marvel where it's pretty much a send up of one of the opening scenes of T2, where the Terminator gets the outfit and the motorcycle and all of that, and people and of course this one whiny man baby is complaining. I think it was Salusa Secundus, and for those who don't know, that is my nickname for, I believe it's Paul Joseph Watson, and to explain it for those who don't immediately get it, Salusa Secundus is the prison planet in the Dune universe as of Paul Atreides' time. So
not read or watched Dune. So.
Yeah. So that's why I call him Salusa Secundus, because his Twitter handle is prison planet. So yeah. Anyway, they're all whining about that, and it's like, y'all, you would have cheered Arnold Schwarzenegger on. Why not cheer her on? Oh wait, sexism. Mm-hmm. Oh, I actually need to watch Captain Marvel. It looks like it's fun.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's not one of the greatest Marvel movies. It's a mid-tier Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely above Hulk. Incredible
Which
Hulk
is
and Dark
which is
World.
not to say that it's bad. It's not. It's just,
Yeah.
it's more noteworthy for what it's accomplishing rather than what it actually is.
Yeah.
And it's actually, for a Marvel movie, it's a really small cast when you actually break it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting. So more of a character study thing.
Yeah, it is more character driven than plot driven.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies we did see, I'm assuming everybody here has seen Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god, that was so great. and bear in mind, I am somebody who has not seen very many Marvel movies. I've seen Iron Man, I've seen Age of Ultron, and I had seen Infinity War before going into Endgame. So that was my extent. The rest of it comes from just looking at TV tropes, looking on social media, or listening to Becky talk about it. And I managed to get most, if I'm not, well, definitely not all of the references, but I got most of them. And you can tell I can tell you I hadn't seen Doctor Strange because I didn't know the Ancient One was the Ancient One. I just knew her as the cool bald lady who yeeted Bruce Banner out of Hulk's body. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. There was Super Carlin Brothers have this extended theory about what happened to Loki as from Infinity War, not obviously from Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was that he was hiding as Hulk at the beginning of that film.
Mm-hmm.
And they said how amazing it would have been if when she did that, Loki fell out instead of Bruce. Fun for their theory, but very confusing for the rest of the world.
Yeah. I mean, at least from here on point, we're gonna spoil a little bit here and there. When you get time travel involved, it's gonna get
which is why they basically stated that no, this always happened. This, basically everything they did doing the time travel thing,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change their own timeline. All they did was create alternate timelines where the events played out. That's why, they could kill Nebula and nothing would happen to the Nebula post Infinity War. That's why they could kill Thanos, at the end of the movie. And yeah, big spoiler. Big spoiler. Thanos dies at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
At the beginning and the ending of Infinity War, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Ending, brother. Anyway, but they can fuck around with time all they want because it's not going to change their own timeline when they return to it. That's basically... It didn't do a very good job of explaining that, but that's basically why they were able to do everything, and it doesn't do the Back to the Future thing, because they said... And that's why they specifically called that out. It's like, no, this doesn't play... This movie doesn't play by Back to the Future rules.
Yeah.
No.
Anything they do is not going to change what has happened.
Yeah, so going back in time and strangling Hitler in the crib would not have worked.
Oh, it would have worked. It would have worked, but when they came back, they'd still have come back to their own timeline.
Yeah.
There would just be a new timeline that exists where Hitler was strangled in the crib.
Yeah.
Why do you always go there, Gomer? I mean, I'm not Hitler, but Jesus, that's your go-to.
Well, I mean, it was one of the more memorable go-tos in the movie, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like...
Yeah, sorry.
I have to see it again. I only saw it once the weekend it came out. I haven't seen it again, so...
Yeah, I'll probably...
I don't remember details.
That is one of those that I did remember. I also remember Gamora kicking Star-Lord in the nuts, or kneeing him
Twice.
in the nuts. Yeah, at least twice. There is one thing I did miss that people have pointed out through screen caps. Apparently they had Howard the Duck on the battlefield, too. With a fucking machine gun. Like, oh my god. How did I miss that?
I missed it twice. I knew about it the second time. I forgot to watch out for it.
Yeah. It was like, oh my god, yes.
But on the time travel thing, I kind of reconcile it. I know Erin probably catches this. Do you watch a lot of modern Doctor Who or not, Gomer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I kind of see it as my theory, similar to my theory for Torchwood, which is basically Torchwood never existed until it existed, then it always existed, which is why it never existed in the original series. If that makes sense.
I think my brain just hurt.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't even catch that. What the...
Okay,
what?
so Torchwood was formed in Tooth and Claw with Queen Vic.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it was never, ever a part of the original series because it hadn't existed yet.
Mm-hmm.
But once Queen Vic founded it, it always existed. It only existed from the point it got, the Doctor and Rose went back and pissed off Queen Vic. But until then, it never existed. That's why it was never a part of the original series.
Well, that's why. Well, shit. Everybody's just like all these people who watch Doctor Who now, who've never watched the classic series, and are trying to go, well, this has to fit here, and this has to fit. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Can it? It basically all the Doctors fucking around changes everything. That's why Davros and the Daleks keep coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because something else he did fucked up something else in the timeline, and so
yeah,
you know.
If I may take a line from our esteemed Dr. Bruce Banner, time travel.
Again, was that like an Aristocrats type punchline?
Not really. Not really. It was just Bruce going, I don't know what to say, so let's try to break the tension.
Yeah, basically. And you know
I would have liked, one thing I do have a complaint about Endgame, I realize that, the movie was already 3 hours long, but it would have been nice to have seen the transition to Professor Hulk, Yeah. That's the actual. Now that actually did happen in the comics for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Was Hulk's body, Banner's mind.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen more than 5 years later. Oh, this happened. It's like,
yeah.
Great. It would have been nice because right now Universal still owns the rights to make Hulk movies. And they haven't worked out a deal like Sony did for Spider-Man, so it's like it's unlikely we're going to be like go back at some point and get a Hulk movie that explains that.
The other thing that I've seen raised that I kind of agree with because it does kind of hurt my brain a little is like, so Steve goes back with the stones with the hammer and then sticks around. Fine, I'm fine with that. How does he replace the stones that were originally in space? Or is it just a matter of getting to the right time?
It's the quantum realm. The quantum realm can basically go anywhere, anywhen.
Yeah,
pretty much.
See, they definitely explained any.
And as for what happened to, and everybody's like, well, what about Mjolnir? It got destroyed. It's like he returned the hammer.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Again, the one thing that is all the comics that came up with Steve returning the Soul Stone. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
With the Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I sorry, it's gone. Whatever it probably wasn't important.
Oh no. So. Good.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
So all in all, Endgame, pretty good. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and when I have the opportunity, I will see it again. If nothing else, at least digitally. So.
I will say, I'm sorry, Gomer, because I know you haven't seen all the movies yet, and I think Erin, you have seen them all, haven't you?
The ones I care about, yeah.
I mentioned this before to Erin after I saw this particular movie. Is like of all the weirdest things, of all the most kind of bizarre things that I've ever had to talk about or have people discuss in any of these movies. The one thing I never thought I'd be talking about in a Marvel review is the Partridge Family.
Alrighty.
And that's the reference in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Which is why I knew Erin would get it because we've already had this conversation.
I've only watched Ant-Man and the Wasp once. I haven't, yeah.
But when we had the conversation, you remembered.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever you say.
Yes, dear. Yes. No, but it's like, of all the possible things, we're sitting here talking about the Partridge Family in a Marvel movie review. Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fine.
And the other movie, I know I've seen it. Did either the two of you see Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
I was supposed to go see it last night, but my friend who I was seeing it with, he's a PCSO, like a police officer, but not quite a police officer. It's a bit complicated. He doesn't have the power of arrest, but he does go out and do stuff and goes on the beat and that.
Yeah.
But basically, I don't know what happened, but he said it all went a bit mad, and he had to have compulsory overtime, so he couldn't get home in time, so we could go see it.
Oof.
So yeah, I won't see him now till Tuesday, so I'm not sure when we're going to go to the cinema. So I have yet to see Detective Pikachu.
Oh God!
I saw it. Yeah. I saw it. It was all right.
Yeah, and Erin,
and I say this as someone who is not a Pokemon fan and is only on the periphery and stuff from cultural osmosis. So
yeah, and hanging around with people like me and Becky, who are definitely into Pokemon.
I've tried. I just don't get the appeal.
Not everybody's going to get into it. I mean, that's the thing about a lot of these things that are out there. No matter what fandom it is. It's not going to be for everybody. There are some people that aren't going to get into Pokemon. There are some people that aren't going to get into My Little Pony or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Take that back.
But there are and I think some people do need to have that reminder. I don't see that particularly very often, but consider it nipping it in the bud.
Yeah. Also, when Pokemon first came out, Erin and I were both in our early 20s, so not quite the target group anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon first came out over here when I was in high school, so...
Yeah.
And I still managed to get into it because, all in all, the games themselves, I think they're fun to play.
Yeah.
And in fact...
I'm not dissing that. I just, I kind of got into it because it was on at a time where I was like, oh, this will kill half an hour before work, and it's kind of cute and funny, and I'm enjoying it. But at the same token, I can understand why someone in the same age range as me is like, not for me.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes to show my mother is in her 60s, and she likes Pokemon.
Yay!
She likes it more for, like, the stories in the game than the actual, like, fighting or whatever, but, that's fine. I mean, hell, okay. My mom, one of my aunts put up a picture of her and her sisters, including my mother, of course, and up on Facebook, public pictures, so I showed it to Becky, and I asked her, which one is my mother? She pointed out my mother because my mother was the only one wearing a Pikachu shirt.
Therefore making your mother awesome.
Yes. But yeah, so yeah, in terms of Detective Pikachu being a Pokemon fan, I was just eating it all up. I mean, all of the Pokemon designs are I hesitate on saying perfect because I don't want to come off saying, oh, they were perfect, and then find out later, be like, oh, maybe that's not so perfect. But they were great. I was sad we didn't see my favorite Pokemon, Umbreon, but that's okay. There sounds like they're going to be making another movie in that similar vein, so I don't see why not. Ryan Reynolds, excellent as Pikachu. Just... I've seen Ryan Reynolds in, only 2 movies so far, but in the movies that I've seen him in, I've enjoyed his performances, so. And he seems
like both Deadpool?
Deadpool and Pikachu.
Okay.
So, only one Deadpool. I've yet to see Deadpool 2, by the way.
It's awesome!
So I've heard. But yeah. And of course, the ending part, while admittedly did feel a little bit rushed in my eyes. Then again, just 2 weeks prior that I had seen Endgame that was 3 hours long, so for me everything was going to feel a little rushed.
Not just you, colleagues at work were talking about it, and he said that he found the ending a little rushed as well, so I think it's a constant. Yeah.
But even for as rushed as it was like, I found it very satisfying, personally. Because it is based on the game of the same name, Detective Pikachu, and there is one question that they leave hanging in the original game that they don't really that they didn't answer in the game, but they take care of in the movie, and I'm like, thank you.
Yay!
But it's a lot of fun, and the Mr. Mime scene, when you see it, you will love it. I almost guarantee it. If you like it in the trailer, you're going to like it in the film.
Cool. And I assume it's extended.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I looked into some of, like, the background stuff or whatever. The people, at the Pokemon Company were like, I don't know if we want Mr. Mime in there. He might be a little too much. And then I forget who it was. Like I think it was the director of the movie or whatever. Showed it to the president. At the Pokemon Company or Game Freak or whichever one it was behind it. And they were like, yeah, put it the fuck in. What the fuck you doing, man? Because it worked just that well. And then some people were like, well, Mr. Mime looks freaky. He's supposed to look freaky because he's Mr. Mime.
Who's the one that I can't remember the one that designed that is kind of a little bit more racist in look.
That would be Jinx.
That's yeah.
Yeah, at least initially. They updated her with like purple skin and made her look less like blackface.
Awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just comes down to over in Japan, it's not as offensive to people over there as it is over here. So,
yeah.
You know, it's a cultural thing, and you know, when you deal with different cultures on a deeper and deeper level, you're going to learn things, you're going to step on toes inadvertently. You know, you just say, "Hey, that's not cool over here." Okay, we'll fix that for you guys. You know. Yeah. That's the thing about living in, you know, living on a planet together, living in a whole world.
No, the reason I brought it up is because I don't quite get what the problem with Mr. Mime is when you have a character like Jinx who's a bit more blatant.
Yeah. I think with Mr. Mime, it's just at least CGI Mr. Mime is kind of a little uncanny valley. It's just because because Generation 1 brought out a lot of human-looking Pokemon. You know, or at least in some way human-like. I mean, you got the Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, you've got Magmar, you've got Electabuzz, you got Mr. Mime, you got Jinx. Those are more humanoid Pokemon, and it's like, oh dear. And it's not to say that other generations didn't. Hello, Sock and Throw from Gen 5. So, you know. Oh, but yeah, so... I think honestly, I think the three of us could agree. Go see these movies. Am I right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to going to see Detective Pikachu, so I guess that's a yay.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh lordy. So this particular episode, since it is the 200th, like I said, I acknowledged the big elephant in the room earlier. What we're gonna do after the break, because we seem to be coming up on that a little bit. After the break, we're going to come back, and what I did was I looked up just a MySpace quiz, because why the hell not? It's fun, it can be entertaining, and maybe you'll learn something about us that maybe you didn't know before. That's kind of a cool thing. I mean, I'm all for that. And the way we're doing it is, you know, I've got the list here, we've all got the list, and we each pick like 4 or 5 out of the list. That should hopefully take us to the end of the episode. And we just answer the questions. And again, of course, if there's one that we're not really comfortable answering, obviously we don't have to answer it. You know.
No.
Like there are some things where it's like, have you done this very, very intimate thing? And it's like, I don't mind sharing that with certain people, but I don't know if they want to hear it. You know? So with that, we are going to go ahead and take our break. And when we come back, we're going to do the MySpace quiz. See you then. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but at some point I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/Gomer21XX. And we are back from our break. And it's time for MySpace quiz. Yay! So we've determined how the order is going to go. We're each going to ask a question off of this list, which, by the way, just for the record, the list is 167 questions. No, we are not going through all of them because we don't have that kind of time. And even then, there are some questions, again, y'all may not want to hear the answer to because that's a little too intimate.
Yep.
So I will start. First question on this list is last beverage. Well, for me, last beverage is a bottle of purified, enhanced with minerals for a pure, fresh taste, Dasani bottled water. Because you need to stay hydrated when you're doing shit like this. Holy fuck. What about y'all?
Tea, and I've got a bottle of water next to me.
Sprite with lunch.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
Riveting.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
This is the high quality content these people come here for.
I know. Well,
The other questions are a little more fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're easing into it. Erin, how about you pull one up?
Let's see. All right. Let's get moderately intimate. Let's jump to something to the juicy stuff.
Uh-oh.
Did you ever shower with someone else? Yes, I have on several occasions.
I have, and the height difference makes things interesting.
Nobody asked about sex in the shower, just asked if you showered with somebody else, Gomer.
I wasn't even talking about sex.
Oh, okay then.
Although, would you also count it if you showered with your gym class in like middle school or high school?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the intent of the question.
Okay. So.
We tried it once, but it was too small, so we haven't really bothered since.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, probably not the intent of the question. But me and my sister used to share baths.
That happens.
Yeah, we were both small.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, you're up.
It's maybe a boring answer, but question, but could be interesting. The question simply is tattoos. We can extend it to if you don't, then would you, or what kind of design do you think they have, or do you think is a good, or a tattoo that you've seen you think that's kind of cool, or even stupid ones.
Now, tattoos for me, they look fine. I have no problem with people who have them. But I couldn't get one myself. Just let me put it like this: I could barely. Well, no, needles I don't have a problem with in and of themselves. It would be the constant irritation and or pain that comes with the needle, working into your flesh over and over and over again. And I've actually been around a friend of mine as she was getting at least part of a tattoo, and I saw like the pain she was going through, which worth it, of course, but and I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. No, I mean, the last few times I tried donating blood plasma. I don't know if it was just my body being a shit or if the person was doing it wrong or whatever, but there was a little too much pain. Like, it was almost like they heated up the needle too much and then stuck it in. That's how it felt, and I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to feel that way. So, yeah. So, tattoos, you won't see me get one, at least not a permanent one. You give me one of those temp tattoos, that's fine. But other than that, nah.
Okay.
What about you, Erin?
I've thought about getting one from time to time, but usually, one, they're too damn expensive to get, and I just can't see spending that kind of money for it, honestly. And two, every time I've thought about it and thought of something that would be kind of cool to get, about a week later, I'm like, no, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah, that is also part of the thing, yeah. Because
it's the cost primarily, which is because it's like it'll be $300. I'm like, I'm not paying that much for you to put ink in my skin.
Yowza!
Yeah.
What designs you want?
Just whoosh.
Every tattoo artist I've talked to, it's a minimum of $100 for anything. So,
I mean,
unless it's something dirt simple and the size of a quarter,
yeah,
which is fine. They can charge whatever they want. I'm just,
yeah. It's just out of your price range.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, yeah, that would also be another thing against me getting one. even if I had the truck driver income that I had over the past couple of years, It'll be no, because yeah, just no. And I sorry, I kept talking over you. I'm sorry, Michelle.
Trying to answer my own question.
Oops.
I don't. There is one I'm considering. I've had a quote, like a rough quote, based on what I said to him I might like, and he said, well, it depends on size and style, but here's a range. I was just trying to do the rough head math on the exchange rate. I think that would come up to the equivalent of maybe $90 or $100. So yeah, I guess what Erin's been quoted isn't that far off.
Yeah.
But I would. It's kind of cliche, but I'm actually giving. And again, to Erin's point about, oh, that's a kind of a cool design, and then a week later, nah, this is something I've literally been thinking about for months, and I'm still liking the idea. And it's going to be like song lyrics on my inner arm. I know it's kind of a cliche place to put them, but if you're going to have words on your arm, you want at least somewhere you can see them.
Yeah.
And no, it won't just say lunch. Which is a She-Ra reference that put Erin on the floor.
So, all right, here we go. Here's one I found. Have you ever changed clothes in a car? I have, and I don't mean just the truck, because I have changed clothes in a car. If for no other reason than to change into clothes going from a church to a house to go swimming. One of those things. But yeah, if you want to count a semi truck, yes, then technically I have. Just like I've also technically slept half naked at a Denny's, because they're at Flying J's, and I've slept at Flying J's, and I normally just sleep without a shirt. So there you go.
Yeah.
How about you, Erin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all I've got to say about that. I don't remember when. I don't have details. It's nothing interesting. It's just I had to go from one place to another and had to have different clothes. So
yeah.
Possible. But maybe I don't have a driver's license, so if I ever have, it's been because I've been a passenger and I have a bit more luxury to do that without causing an accident. Although I'm assuming in every case you guys have also pulled over beforehand. But it's possible that I have, but I can't remember if I have or the details of. So yeah, again, sorry, not that interesting an answer.
That's fair enough. Erin, how about what question you got for us next?
all right, let's see here. Do you believe in angels? No, I'm an atheist.
Yeah. Not in reality, no. In fiction they're fine, but in reality, not really. It's honestly one I don't really think about, honestly. Because it's like,
I believe in David Boreanaz. I believe he's a real person. I do not believe in the Judeo-Christian ideal concept of angels as they are. I do consider myself as an atheist, but I kind of have like the wider world that we don't understand. Call it the supernatural, call it the spiritual. I'm not saying I believe in it wholeheartedly because I haven't had any evidence, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea that, maybe some kind of soul life or some kind of other world, and there could be some kind of semi-conscious beings that are looking out for us. But not necessarily as angels, just as a life force something. But I do like the idea, as presented in Touched by an Angel, that children have their own angels, that the people look out for them. I just think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can't put a name to it, but I think if there is something out there that watches out for us, then angels are a nice enough word for it.
All right. All right, so what do you have for us, Michelle?
One, because this is the kind of question you could be an arsehole about answering. And I think the way they asked it is kind of stupid because of that. And as it's written is, can you spell well? Yes, W-E-L-L. I think what they mean is, are you good at spelling?
Well, I mean, I've seen everybody here type. I think we all can. You know, or at the very least, if we can't spell well, we're really good at using spell checker.
Yeah.
Which
or not in some cases.
Yeah. But speaking for myself, honestly, WELL, yes, like Michelle said. But also, I'm all right with it. If I don't know something, I can usually either try and guess or Google it. A lot of times my guessing does turn out to be right, which I think is just damn lucky, because I've put effort into learning it and an effort to spelling things correctly and making sure, and while I do have some kinks in the armor there, sometimes they do slip through, some misspellings do slip through and I don't catch it. And the spelling checker doesn't catch it either.
Yeah.
So, which, you know, that's different than constantly being just a barrage of just horrible grammar and horrible spelling.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's like, person, I'm sure you have a point somewhere, but my brain is just finding it hard to process it, man.
Some of the guys at work use double negatives. It really bugs me.
Yeah. I mean, my dad used to ask me how to spell things all the time. And it would get annoying, especially when he started having things that would have spell checker on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's in the palm of your hand, damn it. or even before that, when you know, he had access, well, he still has access, when he has access to things like dictionary.com, Google, etc. It's like, you can take 2 seconds to look it up instead of waiting for me to come from across the house to come and tell you.
Yeah. I have stupid things with autocorrect, which I'm sure Erin can emphatically nod to, about, because sometimes the spelling or the autocorrects have gone really weird.
Yeah.
You change the meanings.
This is why I turn off my autocorrect. But speaking of Erin, what is your answer for this one?
I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Can you spell well?
I can spell well, but my biggest problem in terms of spelling it when writing is either misplaced spaces, like right in the middle of a word, or when there's a misspelling, but the misspelling is also a word.
Oh yeah.
Like my biggest typo is always made when I type form instead of from.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of those things that spell checkers don't catch because they don't understand your context. Oops.
My spell checker always has fun with me because I don't do it as often anymore, but I used to download a lot of fan fiction, which usually came from American sources. So I used to get a lot of squiggles just on things like favourite and colour and like anything that you take the U out of. It's like, so I'd started. That's how I learned how to like do the auto replace quite easily. It's like, there we go. We just add to diction. If it was because a lot of it was like Excel stuff, so there'd be a lot of weird words. Like it didn't immediately recognise Mulder as a word, so a lot of time maybe add to dictionary as well. So that's always fun.
Yeah. All right. So let me get to. I think we got time. Yeah, we got some time for a few more. Let's see. I'm going to come down to. Okay. Ever meet someone famous? Yes. Okay. So there's a few outside of our circle, which has its own level of fame in and of itself. Depending on who you ask and who you talk to. I've met what's her name? Lady Gladys. Ellen McLean.
Cool.
You know, I got to meet her along with Becky, MagFest 2014. She's really nice. I think it was MagFest 2012 that I got to meet composer Final Fantasy Nobu Umeatsu, I think is how you pronounce his name. And funny story behind this one, I didn't realize it was him until later. All I knew is we were all hanging out in the lobby of the Gaylord, and I get tapped on the shoulder. One of these girls like, can you take a picture of us with him? I'm like, all right, sure, and I take the picture for them. They thank me, and then it comes to my attention later who that guy was, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, God! Oh no! And also MacFest 2014. It was like Tom, He Is an Evil Genius, Lewis, Lovehog, and a bunch of them were running a audition for the Worst Movie Ever panel, and I got to be part of it. And not to toot my own horn, but I won that. Well, I will. One of those that won it. There were 4 of us, and the one that I went up there, my initial one, I got to work a scene with John St. John, as in Duke Nukem.
Cool.
So I'm like, yeah. I don't play much Duke Nukem past Duke Nukem 2, but you know, I still recognize the guy, and I recognize, yeah, he's kind of a big deal, or at least in the video game voice acting industry. So how about you, Erin? You ever meet anybody famous?
Well, I mean, if we're not talking like, you know, meeting people at conventions and shit. Well, if we are, well, mine was a little bit different. The first Salt Lake Comic-Con fan experience thing, yeah, they like Comic-Con was so Salt Lake Comic-Con was so successful. We actually do it more or less twice a year as 2 different shows. So there's Comic-Con and then there's fan experience. And I actually, the first year they did fan experience, I managed to get media credentials, so I was able to get more time than you normally would. I have met Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. He's very entertaining.
Nice.
And I was able to meet up with Cassandra Peterson, a.k.a. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And she was lovely. Otherwise, man, I haven't really met... I mean, you know, I haven't, aside from like, you know, a couple of standard convention-style meet and greets, like, you know, one year... my son and I went to Comic-Con, and they had both Colin Baker and Paul McGann there, and we met them, and that was nice, and all that, so, you know, but otherwise I haven't really met... What?
And Rebecca.
Yeah, yes, we went to the last Crystal Mountain PonyCon last year, I think it was. And I met Rebecca Schoikert, who does the voice for Sunset Shimmer on My Little Pony Equestria Girls and is the singing voice of Twilight Sparkle in both series. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Those pictures are adorable. I may be biased. They're adorable.
Says the woman who asked me, how did you not pick her up and put her in your pocket and run away?
I did.
And Rebecca liked that comment on Twitter.
Yes, it was public. I wasn't shy about that. I put that publicly, and she liked it, and it's all good. Short answer, yes. Long answer, huge list.
Actually, what was fun after that, I went with my ex-wife, and we took all of her kids, and her kids were within the target age and all that, and they all liked the show and whatnot. And they had this thing for the kids, which was sing along with the voice actors. So they had Rebecca Schoikert and Nicole Oliver, who does the voice for Princess Celestia, and a few other characters. They pulled double and triple duty on both shows, but those are their primary roles. And it was amazing because Rebecca Schoikert actually went and led all the kids in actual vocal warm-ups, and it was amazing.
Oh. That's so cute.
That is awesome.
So yeah, my list is kind of a mix of stage door and conventions and random meetups. So the list itself is quite long. One of my favorites is this is I can't even remember the guy's name now, which makes me feel bad. But when I was young, we went to see actually the same panto several times. We went to see Cinderella because we knew the lead actress. And we were on the backstage in the lift, and the guy playing Buttons, who was very quite famous at the time for being in EastEnders, which is a big soap opera around here. He got in the lift with us because we were backstage. Of course, he's going to be there, and the lift got stuck. We were kind of stuck in this lift with him for a few minutes, and Mum sort of was talking to him, and we sort of said hello as well. Another random one, stage door. I've met Sean Cassidy he was doing Bus Stop with Jerry Hall. We went to both performances that day, and we decided to go walk around to get some fresh air. And my memory of this is me and Mum were walking down the parade one way, And then his tall cowboy walks past us the other way, and then suddenly my mum's turning me around and saying, "Ah, Sean, hi, hello." And so I got to say hello and shake hands with Sean Cassidy.
Nice.
But most recently, and probably the most famous to offhand, I have met Eddie Izzard several times, and Benedict Cumberbatch at least once, and along with half the other cast of Sherlock. Not Martin Freeman, because he wasn't at that convention. But if we're talking actual fame levels, I think B. Crumbs and Izzard are pretty much top tier.
There you go.
So, yes, but the list is actually quite long.
Oh, and I think that fires over to Erin for the next question.
All right, let's see here. All right, I got 8 questions here, and so let's do a rapid fire lightning round because this is the category is which is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do lightning round, okay?
Alrighty.
All right, so I'll come back to me. So let's go to Gomer first. Ready?
Okay.
Lightning round. Lips or eyes?
Eyes.
Hugs or kisses?
Kisses.
Short or tall?
Yes. Okay, I'll let my bias come out. Short.
All right. Older or younger?
Again, yes. But Becky is younger, so younger.
Romantic or spontaneous?
Again, that's another one of those. I do like spontaneous romance, but I am a bit more of a romantic though.
Okay. Sensitive or loud?
Sensitive.
Hook up or relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Nah.
Shy or outgoing?
Honestly, a little both. Probably more shy than outgoing.
Okay. All right, that's that for you. Over to Phoenix, or Michelle, rather. Sorry.
It's okay.
Lips or eyes?
Eyes.
Hugs or kisses?
Hugs.
Shorter or taller?
A little bit taller.
Older or younger?
Close to age, but a little bit older.
Romantic or spontaneous?
Spontaneous romance.
Sensitive or loud?
Sensitive.
Hook up or relationship?
A relationship.
Shy or outgoing?
Outgoing, but not too loud.
Okay. So for me, lips or eyes? Eyes. Hugs or kisses? Hug. Shorter or taller? Much like Gomer, yes, I'll take either. Older or younger? I prefer to date only within 5 years either way of my own age.
Yeah.
Any older or younger than that is just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Romantic or spontaneous? I kind of prefer spontaneity over romanticism. Sensitive or loud? I'm good with either. I'm honestly good with either. Same with hookup or relationship. Again, good with either.
Yeah.
And shy or outgoing? I actually kind of prefer outgoing people to shy because I'm a little bit more of an introvert, and it's a little hard to get 2 introverts to
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going.
to really click. So, not like somebody who's like super boisterous or anything, but somebody's a little more outgoing tends to appeal to me more.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of why I always describe myself as pinky shy, because I like Pinky's outgoingness, but I relate more to Fluttershy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Alrighty. So so now you're up, Michelle.
Yes. This one is a fun one. Have you ever been on TV? And we are going to define TV as actual broadcast television, not just the YouTubing that we all do.
Okay. So, for me, actually, I have.
Yay!
Not for anything big or special or anything. Back in high school, we're in the South, so we cover football games. Upon football games. College, high school football. I was in the band. And a lot of the times, just to kind of try to give the teams and our side a little bit of like pep and energy and everything, our drums would sit there, they'd do a beat or whatever, and I would just dance. I would sit there, dance, and just boom, have fun and all of that. I had one person try to say, well, they're just making fun of you. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm whatever, and that started some fights between me and that person, but but at the end of the day, it was all fun, and at least once or twice the TV cameras looked right over at us during one of those moments. Guess who was dancing?
Go Gomer, it's your thing. Go Gomer.
Basically, yeah. And our director would be like, "Oh, God damn it." So yeah, that's me. How about Erin?
Yes, I have. I have because in 2002 I was animated into a season 5 episode of Daria as technically a background character, but actually in the first shot it's like an extreme foreground character.
Oh, nice.
I literally take up the right third of the screen, stand there for a minute, and then fuck off screen.
I forgot.
No, what happened is MTV was running a contest, a trivia contest. The grand prize was to be animated into an episode. I entered the contest. I didn't expect to win, and lo and behold, I get an email from MTV one day saying that, yeah, you won. Okay.
Sweet.
So they animated me into the episode. They sent me the character design turnaround, which is framed, and I still have. It is currently on the wall in my living room. It has gone with me everywhere since I've gotten it. And yeah. So yeah, I have technically been on TV.
Nice.
And if you have the DVD collection, I exist in your DVD shelf too.
Actually, yes, not Daria. But I still have that DVD you sent me a while ago from your first drinking movies. So technically, yes, I do have you on my DVD shelf.
Oh, nice.
And yes, there was a daytime chat show thing. This is before pre-Jerry Springer, before everything got stupid and loud.
Yeah.
And it was a daytime debate type program where we were talking about insomnia. My mother and I went on it together because we both get insomnia. Apparently, it's common for father and son to both have insomnia, but not so much for mother and daughter. So they thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And so yeah, we were on it, and Mum did a lot of the talking. I was talking as well, about 60. And yeah, someone in the office, the editing suite thing, was really on the ball because someone was saying about how, because having insomnia is really bad because it affects your day-to-day life because it really makes you tired. They immediately cut to me yawning, like this big yawn. So yeah, that is my claim to fame, is I yawned on live national television.
Woohoo! Oh, lordy. So all right. We got enough time for one more round. So, and this question is going to actually date the whole quiz here, because
we're old.
Yeah. This dates it. The question is, do you play the Wii? And my answer is not as much. I have a Wii. It's not hooked up. It can be used, but I choose not to. Now, I have a Wii U that I sometimes use because I enjoy playing the hell out of Pikmin 3. And when I want to get footage for Metroid Zero Mission, it's more fun to use that than to keep looking up at the computer screen. But I also have a Switch, which also has a bunch of the games that were on the Wii. And the same goes for the Wii U as well. So technically kind of, but also not. How about you, Erin?
No, I fooled around with my sister's family when they had one. I could not stand the control scheme.
That's fair.
And really, I haven't really bothered with any Nintendo hardware since the Super Nintendo. I just did not like the Nintendo 64. I've done a couple of things with, there were a couple of games on Nintendo 64, a couple of games on the GameCube, but nothing like hardcore. It was all the social games like Mario Party and shit like that. But once the Wii came and I started playing, I was like, this is too imprecise. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to waste my time waving this stupid thing around my living room like an idiot.
Yeah, I'll admit, the Wii games that I tend to gravitate towards didn't require motion controls, like Mega Man. Just saying. But Mega Man 9 and 10 are also on the Switch, so...
Yeah.
And also PC if you want to play the Mega Man Legacy collections on there. So, just saying. How about you, Michelle?
Yes. I have Wii. Well, the Wii's now in the bedroom. Very rarely gets paid, but I have the Wii U, so obviously I can still play my Wii games on it.
Mm-hmm.
I unlike Erin, I don't mind waving my arms around looking like an idiot because sometimes that's the only exercise I get.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy the tennis games. I find those quite fun. Soul Calibur is a hell of a lot of fun on the Wii. And yeah, the Legend of Zelda games. That being said, I haven't played it for ages, and mostly I use the Wii U for watching Prime Flicks. And yes, I have them both, and I try and say them individually. I always end up screwing one up, so it's Prime Flicks.
There you go. So yeah, next question. I think the next question is yours, Erin.
Twirl or cut your spaghetti? Neither. I hate spaghetti. Spaghetti is like the sloppiest kind of pasta. Same with fettuccine. Long noodles, I don't get why anybody would want to eat it. It's too difficult to eat, and it's just a mess. And it's why I'm one of those people that just absolutely gets repulsed when I see somebody give like their infant spaghetti. I'm like, oh God, okay. I'm not looking at that. That's just gross.
Yeah.
It's like the damn kid committed a murder.
Well, by the end of it may as well have. But twirl or cut spaghetti, for me, it could be both, honestly. A lot of the times, like if I have a big plate of spaghetti or what have you, I will like cut on the outsides, but sometimes I'll twirl it, it just depends on my mood, time of the day, phase of the moon. However many seconds the last beatdown in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure lasted. By the way, it was 30 seconds. And I am not kidding.
Nice.
That sort of thing. It just depends, really. But I think mostly I cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I twirl and trim.
Yeah.
Twirl a bit and trim off the excess. And just do it that way.
Yeah. And somewhere along the line, Kat's going to hear that and she's going to be like, you heathen! Because during our failed recording last week, that was one of the questions that came up, and she had some feelings about that. Oh lordy. I believe we're over to Michelle.
Yep. I picked a few. Okay. I'm gonna ask as worded. But because we're kind of hanging out in a chat, it might not be now.
Right.
What's irritating you right now? But we can send that to what kind of irritates you that you realise probably shouldn't but still does because
Oh lordy, that question is oh God. Oh, that question is more loaded than comic Tony Stark. Yes, I know enough to know that Tony Stark in the comics has been known for being an alcoholic.
Demon in the Bottle was a great book.
Yeah. But
unfortunately, it's the only Iron Man story anybody can mention by name.
No, I've also read Extremis.
But what's irritating me right now? That probably shouldn't be irritating me.
And remember, Gomer, we only have a few minutes. You know.
Yeah, because I could go on for days.
Keep it light.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, something that irritates me that really shouldn't irritate me. God. That's a tough one because the first things that are coming up in my brain that irritate me are all things that should irritate me.
That's fair.
Just don't go into. If you just give us the damn list and don't go into detail. All right.
Okay. So, all right. I'll give you my top 5. I'll limit it to top 5. Number 1, the GOP in general, because of course. Number 2. These whiny man babies who complain about Captain Marvel doing things that Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the 90s, and they had no problem with him then, or maybe their predecessors didn't. And these same people... Okay, taking too long. Number 3, the price of gas. Because That's always something I can complain about. Number 4, the difficulty that you sometimes have when you're putting your contacts in. I put in some fresh ones this morning, and while it went relatively okay, there have been times where it would take me 30 minutes to an hour just to get a set in. Pain in the ass. And then number 5, on the list of things that just really annoy the shit out of me, people who do not know how to drive. As in, they get on the road and they pull all of this bullshit. Not as in people who are ignorant to driving and just never learned or never got a license. This is what I'm meaning. Bad drivers, I guess, is a better way of putting it. Okay. Erin?
All right. Well, a good chunk of that stuff irritates me too, but I think the thing that's irritating me right now is that while I love my new job, I'm always so damn tired.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's not so much that, my video production has slowed to a crawl. I had to stop making videos for most of this month in an attempt to just try to get scripts written in advance, which I failed miserably on that too. But the other thing is that it's also preventing me from getting everyday shit done. My apartment is a disaster area right now, and I really need more time to be able to just clean it.
Yeah.
It's just I can't do it when I get home because I get home and, it's just like...
Yeah, I know that feeling. Oh, man. How about you, Michelle?
Again, most of your list, but swap out GOP for the Brexit Party is a new one that's coming up, and they're kind of right wing and annoying, and UKIP in general. But they're not high enough on the ranks to really sort of get into power realistically at the moment. But they're ones to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
What irritated me when I was making copied the list into Word, then I copied out my Word questions into Notepad, and the fact that the copy paste wouldn't do the thing properly, that was irritating.
Yeah.
So in the moment that I was actually copying the question, what is irritating you right now? This process is irritating me right now.
Yeah.
But as a kind of general, it's similar to the driver's thing. I'm a pedestrian, and I kind of people who are slow in front of you but don't if you're going to be slow, fine, but go to one side. Stop doing that. I've always so that's kind of annoying. Or people who maybe they are walking a bit faster, but there's a group of them that decide to all walk abreast. It's could you try and take up more space? Have you attempted to be more irritating? To be fair, once you sort of make your presence known, they're like, oh, excuse me, and they go to one side, and they're fine about it. But it's you could have just bunched a little bit.
Yeah.
That annoys me. But as I've said before, yes, you could call things all first world problems, yeah, fine. But it doesn't mean things aren't annoying just because they're technically first world problems.
Exactly.
They can still be annoying.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing, which is actually going to lead into a longer rant, I'm not sure I should bring it up, so I'm going to pause before saying it.
It's okay.
No, it is kind of long. Single issue politics. And I'll give you a very simple, non-controversial that.
Mm-hmm.
My mum's vegetarian.
Yeah. And
so, more than a few times, we've gone to recovery because the rest of the family aren't, and we enjoy that. And most of the time, you go to recovery, you can get your meat, you get your vegetables, it's fine. Depending on the restaurant, sometimes they will bring the vegetarian option to your table, or you may have to collect it off the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Mum almost never chooses the vegetarian option. She always just gets the big plate of vegetables, which is fine because they're nice vegetables.
Yeah.
It's just roast dinner vegetables. But it's not just the case of what meat would you like, ma'am? Oh no, sorry, I'm vegetarian. Just come with the vegetables. It's oh no, I'm vegetarian, and she has to make a thing about it. And that's what I mean. Single issue politics is you can have whatever you want, whatever is related to you. It's fine, but when everything becomes related to the thing about you,
yeah,
when everything becomes about that thing, regardless of whether or not it's about that thing, I'm not saying that these people are wrong to have these opinions. They're their opinions, of course, that they can't be wrong in them.
Right.
But it's like when it becomes everything, that kind of irritates me. Another example, without using specifics, is I've seen examples of people, and there's kind of a thing happening with a couple of YouTubers at the moment, where someone says something, and then someone who is part of that group, and the first person I will say is not anti the thing.
Right.
Because this one video was a bit misinformed.
Right.
But because the responder was part of that group, they're kind of talking in the way, well, I'm irritated about it, so everyone else in this group must be irritated about it too. And they're kind of speaking with that kind of authority, I'm annoyed, everyone else should be. And I think that's why, that's, do you think the single issue politics is the right way of putting it? Is that kind of...
I can see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, but okay. So we got to wrap up. There is one question. I know we all can answer this in unison, and I'll tell you and I'll tell you guys why I put this one in there right after we answer it. And this question is cheating ever okay? 3.
No.
I was going to do a countdown, but that's all right. We got it. We are all in agreement. Cheating is never okay. Now,
I did have one question, sorry, that I like the answer to.
Okay.
The question is, did you ever have your wisdom teeth out? I haven't, as far as I know. I don't know about you guys. But the answer he gave, the person who wrote this list, was really cute. He said, no, my mouth is still a wealth of knowledge. I just thought that was cute, and I thought I'd bring that back up, because I think I might have wrote it down.
Okay, so
pick it up.
So the reason why I ask is cheating ever okay? Again, something I'm just going to touch on with a simple phrase to kind of tie it, to kind of bring it back full circle. Fuck Pro Jared. That's all I'm going to say there. And a double fuck for him, because he's throwing polyamorous people under the bus with his excuses. Fuck him twice.
And I say no because I have cheated on my partners in the past, and it teaches you a lesson, and a lesson hard. Yeah.
I'm going to go with no, but my feelings are a little bit more complicated because I know people in my family who have, and it's like I'm not sure how I feel about it with them. So yeah.
But yeah. So with that is going to be our show for this week. 200 episodes. Holy fuck! Honestly, I wish we could have gotten here sooner, but things happen, life happens, you got to make the money somehow. So for me, it required going on the road for months at a time. So, oh well. Yeah. So if we wanted to find Erin on the social medias, where could we find him?
You can find me on Twitter at Shallow15, SHALLOW15. You can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/DubiousKhan, DUBIOUSKAHN. And, of course, even though, once again, it's been, I think, over a year since I updated anything, stuff is also available on rtgomer.com.
Yes. And, Michelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Phoenix11. That's PHEONIX11. And the same on YouTube, where my video has actually uploaded and it's ready to go. And it's a wizarding unboxing. So lots of cool Harry Potter related type stuff, if you like that sort of thing, which I do. And I was going to say something else, and it's gone away again, so never mind.
It's all right. And as for me, if you want to find me on the social medias, look on the Twitters, YouTubes, Instagrams, Tumblrs for Gomer21XX. This very show also has its own YouTube channel. Just search for Thespian Talk, and there you go. This show is also on all of your favorite podcast apps via Anchor, which all you have to do for that is look up RTG Podcast group or whatever it is. Just look for RTG Podcast. You'll find that is the stream for the show for now. There is also one that I was using the SoundCloud for. I'm letting the SoundCloud go so I can concentrate on putting these up on Anchor because it's free. And you can actually get some ad revenue from it, which if you're listening to this from the audio version on that comes through Anchor, you'll have already heard that ad. But if you want to just keep up with the show, There are a couple ways you can do it. If you want to make sure you listen to every episode of the show, if you want to make sure you do that, go to rtgomer.com, and episodes are posted up there Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, when we're actually able to record one. And we also have a little mailing list that you can sign up for, and it'll let you know in your email, oh, hey, there's a new post, not just for me, but for everybody else on the site. People like Mikey Gleason and the Diva. You know, you got people there too who update, and of course, Erin and I have our own stuff up there as well. So
that's what I remember what I was going to say. I'm not an RT Gomer because. Yep.
But yeah, so that is the guaranteed way you can catch every episode, because I put the YouTube version up there, and Anchor sometimes gets a little shaky in getting things out to the proper feeds on the podcast apps. So if you want to keep up, rtgomer.com is pretty much guaranteed. Unless I fuck up somewhere along the way and forget to schedule the video to go live when it's supposed to, but that doesn't happen very often, thankfully. This show also has its own Twitter, which Holly Christine reminded me of a few weeks ago. That's Thespian Show for updates on the show. I'll even start using that to ask questions and hopefully get some responses and read it on the show, and it'll be great in audience interaction. It'll be a lot of fun. And you can also DM me there, DM questions there or whatever if you want to ask us some stuff, or if you have something for us. I also need to, hopefully by the time this goes up, it'll be there, but it'll also have the Thespian Talk Discord as well. Should be pinned to the Thespian Talk Twitter if it's not already. But if it's not, it should be up there by the time the show goes live. And of course, I mentioned it in the break, but also, if you want to help support this show and other things that I do, go to patreon.com/Gomer21XX. And also, I have an Etsy store up now. I've gotten into doing the perler bead sprites. I've got a small stock right now, waiting for more beads to come in, and then I am going to put a lot more. So stuff from Mario, from Mega Man, even some custom stuff like right now I've got a sprite for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure up for sale, a custom design actually. Which I think is really cool, and I hope somebody buys it and give it a good home.
So what kind of prices are you asking, Gomer?
Well, you can look at on my Etsy store, which if it's not in the doobly-doo, just look for, I believe it's Pixel Emporium Gifts. I ask for no higher than $5, depending on the sprite. So everything is $5 or less. So that would be pretty cool, and that'll not only go back to doing more of that, but it'll also help put money into the pot for things like this show. So at any rate, that's going to be it for this week. Thank you guys for listening, and definitely listening to me ramble at the last few minutes here, because of course I do. So until next time, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Erin Mills and Michelle, signing off.
Bye-bye.